just go back where we were. What was wrong with that?
You don't mind holding it for right now.
Okay. You want me to hold it? I don't have steady hands.
You can just hold it up. Can you do that? Just for right now until I go get the other tripod?
Sure.
Between you and me, too.
Yeah.
Right now.
I'll pick her up.
Do anything?
Do we want to turn sideways?
Yeah, we can.
Since they're live streaming there. Are you a historian? Are you a historian?
But it's gonna get tired. You can see the light. You know, it's like where I was focused on that. Yeah. You're right. I think I got to focus on the light before we go.
Do I need to follow? Give me just a second.
It's just like, that's pretty hard. Okay. Upside down. Upside down. Y'all going upside down.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing, testing.
Everybody's here.
Well,
On.
and I probably need to be,
Josh. Nope. Yeah.
good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I just looked at the agenda and I haven't seen a agenda this skinny before in anything. We've got the minutes, and I'll entertain a motion with regards to our August 18 minutes.
Move to accept.
Second.
All those in favor indicate aye.
Aye.
Opposition, the same sign. I'm going to turn it over to Katie. I would make one comment, and that is that when you run a flag up a flagpole, it sure looks different than it is on paper. That's a great idea. Whoever came up with it, it's impressive, and I tell you, all of them look good to me. Katie, I turn it over to you, and I think we've got some business to take care of before we start the discussion.
A little bit. Josh, can you hear me? Okay. Mainly this period is for y'all to talk about the top 5 flags, and commissioners were asking, you don't vote today, but obviously you can make any decisions you want to make today. But before we do that, just a couple of procedural things. The second flag, we've been working clearing the rights. All the designers have signed off on their rights. Whit Rayner is developing a intellectual property agreement for y'all to sign. We'll send it out to you before next week's meeting. You can approve it at next week's meeting, and then y'all can sign it because all of you, or most of you, participated in the design process. But when we were clearing the rights on the second flag, the designer told us that the magnolia in that flag is clip art that he purchased online, or she. And so we have worked with Whit to alter the intellectual property agreement for that flag to exclude that magnolia. And so I think we need a vote approving the change in that agreement. That's the only change. Otherwise, it's identical to what you approved last week.
Just a question. Does that mean that the magnolia is different?
Yes, and we'll talk about that right after this vote.
Okay. You understand the motion? Okay. If you do, I'll entertain someone moving that we adopt the motion.
So moved.
And a second. All those in favor indicate aye. Opposition, the same sign. Explain it, Katie.
The second part of that issue is that you might want to consider replacing the magnolia in that flag with one of the magnolias from the other flag. We have Josh, the wonderful Dominique has already put the magnolia from the fourth flag in to the second flag, and Josh is about to show it to you.
What is that designer of the fourth magnolia approved putting that in the second flag?
The designer of that flag has already turned over his or her, I can't remember, intellectual property rights on all of it.
Any further discussion on this issue? Okay. Do we need a motion on this? I'll entertain a motion with regards to changing the magnolia on flag number 4.
I'm sorry, 2.
On 224.
On 2. Right.
Second.
All those in favor indicate aye. Any in opposition? No. Back to you, Katie.
We are also working, WIT is working, and will continue to work this week on searching databases to make sure that we don't have any similarities to copyrighted designs that we're unaware of. And he is here and can answer any questions that you may have about that. But he is working, continuing to work on that. And then the last thing I'll say is that we also have Clay Moss here. Several of you had mentioned to me that you wanted to hear his how the final 5 flags stack up to the standards that he presented to you at the second meeting. And so he is here and available for questions from the commission. And I will turn it over to y'all for discussion.
I have a question. The flag number 2, design is anonymous. We'll never know who designed that flag?
Right.
Okay, well, I'd like to know something about the designers of every flag, okay? Like number 1, Michael Whitman. Can you tell us about him, Katie? Where does he live? Where is he from? Is he from the state of Mississippi? And I'd like to know something about the designers of every single flag. Where are they from? Where they went to college? Where they live now? Get a little insight if you have it.
Okay. Well, first of all, I need to confess that is not his name. His name is Whitson. I apologize for that, and we'll get that corrected. Yes. He is the one who has the website that when y'all had earlier on in the process, you had requested additional information on some of the flags, and we sent you a website that talks a little bit about who he is and how he came up with this. He's also done I've seen him give an interview about it. I believe he was born in Alabama, attended the University of Mississippi, and now lives in Massachusetts. Is this? Okay. And, well, I should let Frank, you've talked to him, I believe.
What you said is correct. He from Alabama, went to University of Mississippi, and now he and his wife live in Boston, Massachusetts.
In Boston. I'm just curious, what's his interest in designing a Mississippi state flag? If you know.
I mean, I don't want to speak for him, but I would encourage you to look at his website. And what was that? Was it a podcast? Where did I see him interviewed? We'll send it to you.
Okay, well, good. What about the anonymous number 2? We just don't know anything about that particular artist?
Right.
Where's he from or anything?
Right. I mean, we've been in contact with that person to clear the intellectual property rights, but that's it. I don't know anything about that person.
Okay, thank you. And what about 3 and 4?
I don't.
What about Hunter Jones and Sue Anna Joe and Kara Giles?
I don't know anything other than what they have provided here.
Mac, as I recall, and I would have I'd have to look back at notes, but Kara Giles is. Hunter Jones and Sue Anna Joe each contributed different elements to these flag designs. Kara Giles is in Oxford. And I don't know where Hunter Jones or Suanna Joe are, but one of them contributed some elements, and then we took the magnolia from the other person's original design, so that's just kind of a collaboration, but I don't know where they're from.
Carrie Giles is from Oxford.
Mac, as a good lawyer you are right on track on this. I think it would be appropriate if we got background information on everybody and supplied the commission. I think we need to do that.
Thank you, Reuben. I kind of were interested myself.
Yeah.
And
We
what
don't
about,
want to end up being embarrassed and by someone whose background is not appropriate for this task. And if you could, Katie, find out as much information as you can and provide it to us.
The Attorney General's office did, and Tommy is here, did a background check on each of the flag designers. Do you want to add anything?
now that's interesting.
Push the button and hold it.
There we go. My name's Tommy Goodwin. I'm with the Attorney General's office, and this was something that I thought of last week, which was we need to know a little bit about these folks. It's certainly relevant to the decision that's being made by this commission, and so we ran in what's called an open background on each of the designers. To do a full criminal background, you have to have an active criminal investigation, or they have to sign something that would allow you to do that. But with an open background, you can at least see if someone's ever been charged with a crime, that sort of thing. You may not be able to see the ultimate disposition of it, but you can see if they were charged. And none of the designers that we ran the search on had been charged with any crimes. As to, we do have the addresses of these people that we'll be happy to supply to the commission so you can see where they're from. Some of these designers have online presences in different ways, and we can provide the commission with websites, Instagram accounts, things of that nature. I know Suanna Joe has a presence online, and I believe she is from Northern California, the San Francisco Bay Area, and you can view some of her posts on Instagram and things like that. I don't know about Hunter Jones or some of the others. Mr. Whitson, who is from Boston, he has an online presence, and you can check out his company, which is called theoldtry.com, and see some things about him there as well. I think he has a LinkedIn profile as well that may be open to the public that you can check out. Well, we'll get those addresses to the commission and any other information we can provide to help you, make your decision.
I think what would be beneficial to the commission is for you to conduct an investigation, look at these individuals, and if it's anything that you need to bring to our attention, do so, please.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mac, for bringing that to our attention.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, ma'am.
I had an email from Susanna Joe, and she does live in San Francisco area, and she's from Greenwood. And she said that she submitted because she loves Mississippi and she still calls Mississippi home. And I think that, didn't she say that she got her inspiration for the magnolia from the old car tags? That was Hunter? Okay, well, they were both in that submission that we got. Sorry about that, but that's why Suzanne,
Well, I know where Greenwood is. Yeah, number 5. Does anybody have any information on Gregory Murphy?
Emma's looking it up.
Well, I think as the chairman said, if the Attorney General can provide us that information, where they're from, what history we know about them, I think that would be sufficient if we could get that in the next day or so.
Okay.
Great.
Okay, that's a crucial concern that's been addressed. Is there anything else that commissioners should be concerned about with regards to the individuals. If not, we'll open it up for discussion, and we can start with anybody raising their hand or tapping their microphone, and we'll talk about every aspect of what we've seen. Take out.
I want to see if Clay could discuss again Flag 2, how that would be manufactured.
Clay, you can just come to the podium here. And thank you for being here.
As far as manufacturing Flag 2, it will always have to be printed. It would be virtually impossible to sew it together in some kind of way if you want to do a custom job like that. That river would be very challenging. So you'd be looking at normally printing every time, and that may be okay by you, but just one thing further past that, the first letter I talked about contemporary designs. This is a poster child of contemporary designs. And I was looking at the flag in reverse, and I'm from Alabama originally, and I'm looking at the Chattahoochee River, the Perdido River, dividing Alabama and Panhandle, Florida from the rest of the state, plus a good portion of Georgia in there as well. And so, I'm not telling you not to adopt this. I'm just saying it's, in my opinion, we could have a bit of buyer's remorse if we go this direction. It's just it's a different. I mean, if you look globally at flags, you won't see anything like this, and it's because there have been attempts at stuff like this in the past that people backed away from and toward the more traditional. I can. Flag number 1, I love the design. It's clean, it's crisp, it's straightforward. I would probably eliminate the hatch marks within the red stripes. Just to give you a little history behind that, Mr. Whitson took his inspiration off the Mississippi Territorial coin. If you look at the coin, the hatch marks are there, but the designer of the coin was doing two things with those. First of all, he was demonstrating his prowess to finely engrave a coin at that size. Can you imagine? Be able to mold one. The second thing he was doing was, if you go back and look at Mr. Whitson's side at the coin, vertical lines indicated the color red. And so those lines were put into those stripes on the coin to tell the viewer that in reality, those are red stripes. If you'll notice also on the coin, not on here on the flag, but on the coin, you see horizontal stripes in the blue. That indicated that was intended to be a blue part of that shield. So it's a redundant thing to have the hatch marks running through the red stripes because the hatch marks themselves are saying red. You might as well take vertical letters, write R-E-D in each of the stripes. You've got the same outcome. The other thing I've heard people comment about, and I was trying to decide if I thought so or not, when the flag went up on the pole earlier, because of those white stripes, do the red stripes begin to look more pink than they should? Yeah, I don't know. And it would be virtually impossible I don't think the print technology exists on cloth to print smaller flags with the hatch marks. If you want to do a 4 by 6 inch, Mississippi table flag, those hatch marks are not going to be there. I think Mr. Whitson alluded to that there might be some cases where the hatch marks couldn't be there. My recommend would be on an actual cloth flag that they not be. Now, you might put it on stationery, put it on a sign, put it on paper and include them in that context if that ended up being the state flag, but I think I would get rid of the hatch marks on cloth.
Clay, can I talk to that point? I did talk to the designer, and he said that in a lot of cases, some of the larger designs or printed designs may have the hash marks on other flag designs, but there's a caveat if you're making a lapel pin or a smaller flag that they go to solid red lines. And I guess that's not unusual. I don't know.
I've never seen hatch marks within the stripes of any kind of an American flag. This is not an unusual shield. If you look on a lot of military colors and standards, it's there. If you look on the North Dakota state flag, it's there. I've drawn a couple. I drew one for a California regiment several years ago, and again, it's a prominent, familiar shield. And I've never seen an actual flag with the hatch marks. Doesn't mean it wouldn't work. It worked on the larger flag on the pole today, but I'm not sure that it would be a consistently workable thing. Flag 3. Dominique and I talked a little bit the other day, and we were trying to, y'all under the gun to get some artwork in so they could get the flags made up. I noticed they've gone to the Spanish yellow instead of the old gold that we had, and that actually is a very good standard color on flags. It's a very common thing. You look at the Spanish flag, Romanian flag, a bunch of different flags. On this white one, I would get rid of the yellow fimbriations on either stripe. It's a I'm not going. It would take a long time to explain it heraldically. It's bad form. Plus, they don't show up very well against the white. I would probably get rid of those. I would darken the yellow gold star again, go back to the old gold, because again, when it was flying out there, it was just really hard to see that top star. I think the old gold works, and then I would broaden the blue and the red bar on these flags. I'd give them at least a quarter of the Canadian pale. We talked a little bit about that when we were looking at the green, white, and green flag. They certainly need to be broadened, and then I think you've got a sound design. Another thing I noticed is we're looking at the magnolia. I think I would probably broaden the holding lines around the edge. Again, when that flag got up on a pole, I was hard pressed to see a magnolia in its entirety. And so either broaden the holding lines around the edges, or I don't want to mess with the design itself. I would just say that I would suggest that, kind of like again we did on the green, white, and green flag. We broadened the lines so the magnolia could be seen better. Flag 3 and 4 are essentially the same flag. The colors have been reversed, and we got 2 red bars. On this one, if you were going to leave it intact, I would again go a quarter on each bar, but I would take the gold fimbriations on this one, if you're going to keep them, and make them about 1/6 the width of the rest of the bar, so they're more prominent, they show up better. Again, up on the flagpole, for me, it was you could see them, but it was almost I couldn't understand the point in them being there. So if they have representation, I would widen them out a little bit. Otherwise, I think you're good to go with this flag color-wise. I think it was actually a good move with this flag to go with the Spanish yellow. It made the I'm gonna call it the Choctaw star. Made it stand out a little bit better, and you'd have a sound flag pattern there. The blue flag, as far as its emblemery and all that, I think it's pretty sound and good to go. I think I might change the font on "In God We Trust" on this flag. I think this is
Can't see it.
I call it Times New Roman, or maybe Americana. It's one of those genres. But even on this flag, the U almost disappears. I can barely see parts of the N. You might want to go with something a little bit more bold as far as the font.
One thing I like to notate is the storyline with the diamond star is that it is to represent all Native American history, and so it's not so much symbolic of the Choctaw star per se, because as I stated to all the commissioners through email, there were other tribes that were in Mississippi prior to some changes that happened in history. So one thing I would like to hand it over to Betsy. She made a great point to me prior to going out and viewing the flags earlier.
Just thinking about the Native American exhibit in the Mississippi History Museum, that gallery focuses on the First Peoples. And in conversations and comments on our social media pages, it seems that there's some confusion as to why we have 21 stars. Thinking that if we use the diamond star representing our First Peoples, which includes all of them, then that star gains some importance in being the first star instead of the 21st star, because it precedes statehood. So kind of maybe, a good time to change the messaging on that for our press and everybody else. And I'm, just throwing that out for comment or whatever.
Well, I'd say we officially call it the Native American star from here on out. And that I just kind of threw that out there because I do know the inspiration came from Chief Ben. And, I've heard some other people comment as well. For them, it's a global star. Top point represents the Americas. The next point represents, in alphabetical order, the Asians, all Asians. The next point represents, Africa after that. The Asians, help me out, lost my continents. Europeans, and Australia and Oceania. That's virtually all the inhabited peoples of the earth. So 5 points, 5 basic sets of people groups. And so that's an interesting caveat to put with it. It's an all-encompassing star in some people's minds. So,
So Clay, between the two magnolia flags, you said they're both very similar, which they are. Okay. In your opinion, you say the blue stands out better than the white background of magnolia?
as far as the magnolia itself, yeah, the blue enhances the magnolia more. Y'all had I think there was a discussion about there are leaves, I suppose, on the magnolia on the white flag. They're blue, and somebody was saying that those wouldn't show up on the background of the blue flag. I've actually seen some magnolias on blue backgrounds in the star that had leaves on them, and the leaves were more of a lighter sort of a lime green, but it worked. It worked. They showed if you wanted to change the colors on the leaves on the white one and move them over to the blue. If that ended up being your selection, it would add, the full flowered look to it. I'm not suggesting you do that. I'm just saying that there is a solution for putting the white magnolia on the blue if that's what you wanted to do.
So Clay, are you suggesting not to use the Spanish yellow, or was that?
I wouldn't use it on the white flag relative to, anything Spanish yellow on the white flag. I would get rid of the gold fimbriations on both stripes. I would broaden those stripes and just leave it be. It's almost a redundant feature on that flag. And then I would darken the Native American star back to the old gold that you had. I think it shows up on white.
I think that's real interesting because today I thought that flag, while on paper I've kind of been leaning towards the blue, but I thought today the white flag looked fabulous. And the yellow I thought really, really popped.
It's a clean look. It really is. It is.
I think something that we've been thinking about is the fact that there are 4 magnolia flags and there's one that's different. It makes it real hard to really get a public decision, and we talked about maybe we do eliminate 1 or 2. I don't know when they flew, it was easier, not as easy to take one down because I thought they all looked great. It was very exciting to get out there and actually see them fly. But I think you look at the votes and it's very obvious you've got 60% or so that are voting for one of those 4. And then you've got 35% for the other. So I really want to, as a commissioner, this is not about my flag. This is about the people of Mississippi and what the people want. And I think if we did eliminate 1 or 2, possibly, we would maybe get a better idea of what we get to, because we're picking next Tuesday. I don't know. I just want your thoughts on that.
I agree. I think that we are dividing up the votes amongst flags that have very similar elements, and I think it would give us a lot of information to see a vote based on fewer number of flags to get a better idea for where the public wants us to go.
Katie, at this point, does this commission have the authority to do that?
Absolutely.
Clay mentioned I would do this and I would do that. Do we have authority to take his suggestions?
Yes, and what I would say is we can have flags made again with the changes, but it's the same situation as last week where the deadline for us to get the altered flags to the flag supplier is noon today. So you certainly can eliminate any that you want today, and you can change any that you want today, but if you would agree on the changes during this meeting, then we'll stay on track.
And as I read the legislation, I see no prohibition on us doing anything other than presenting one on September 2.
That's all we have to do.
Right, and that's the suggestion, is the fact that we want to make sure that what we're suggesting as a commission is what the people of Mississippi that are voting. There's a lot of people taking a very active interest, which I'm thrilled about, because it is about us finding something. It's not going to be perfect for everybody. Obviously, that's not the case, but I do feel very confident that we can come to an exciting option for the state of Mississippi. So I just feel like even what he mentioned, there's issues. I think the only one really you're talking about changing colors on is the third one, correct? And maybe some on the fourth one, on the lines.
I would broaden, if you've taken
borders.
notes on the, on both sets of vertical stripes, those need to be, each stripe needs to be a quarter in length of the flag, okay? 1/4 of the length of the flag, both of them. But that would include the fimbriations on this one, so combine the fimbriation, make the fimbriation, I'll walk over and show you. This needs to be about 1/6, so you're probably gonna double the width of that, maybe, just measure it off. Okay, and then broaden the whole thing to be about here.
I think that would look
Same
good.
thing on the other side. In my opinion, I
Take
would
the
lose
yellow.
it, I would lose those gold fimbriations on the white flag. That's your call. But again, if you decide to keep them, then it's the exact same procedure for the white flag.
And I should add that what I said about you have to make decisions today applies only if you want to see the flags fly again. If it's not important to you to see them fly with the changes, then you have all week.
Katie, I don't think it's essential that we see them fly on a flagpole, but we want to see what we're
Right.
going to recommend.
Okay.
See them hang up
So
there.
they still need to be,
If you want to
Made,
have
so we need to
flags
decide
made,
today. Right,
you need to
right,
decide
either way.
today at this meeting.
How would it be to eliminate 2 and 5? Are we still splitting the vote, but do have those made up like Clay said and see the difference, or?
Is that a motion?
I think, the thing is, he's talked already about the number 2 and the problems. A lot of people like that flag. That's actually one of the top, the second. But, and I understood because it was one of the ones in the beginning that I really, really liked. And then as we started discussing it and learning, I knew nothing about how they all fly. And so Clay's given great insight on that. So we already know there's some issues there. And that was the only reason. But a lot of people like that one again. But I do think you're right, Betsy. I think there's a couple that we can eliminate, and I just feel like that way we get a very clear picture if you have 2 or 3 that you're allowing people to vote on.
I'll make the motion to eliminate 2 and 5.
I'll second it.
I would
Okay.
like to, before we vote, we're talking about eliminating ones that are similar. I would say 2, 3, and 4 are the most similar. They all have the magnolia in the middle. 5 is the magnolia tree, which I think is a little different than the rest. 3 and 4 are basically the same flag. I think if we're going to eliminate one, we should eliminate one of the ones out of 3 or 4, and have one magnolia-centric flag, if you will. They're basically the same flag. I think we choose between the majority white with the navy and red bars, or the majority navy with the 2 red bars, and then proceed with 4 flags.
So I think I would not want to eliminate either of those until I saw the changes on a newly made flag, because it may change our decision on which one we have preference over.
Dominique might be able to put it up on the screen now for you.
I'd like to see those too, because it does make a difference when you widen the bars.
Okay,
Get a
Clay,
motion in a second on the table.
why
I've been
does,
told that was not my place to do, so. Yeah. I'll take it back.
This is a crucial issue, so we need to take our time and
You have a
make
motion in
sure.
a second.
Betsy, you have made a motion. Who, I'm sorry. And you've seconded.
Mac. Frank and Mac, first and second.
Frank made the motion.
And why don't you repeat your motion to make sure we're on the same page?
My motion was to eliminate number 2 and number 5.
And there was a second. Okay. The motion is that we eliminate flag number 2 and flag number 5. There's been a second. You ready to vote? Any discussion? All those in favor indicate aye.
Aye.
Those in opposition, likewise.
No.
Okay. Let that be noted. TJ? Okay. Majority has it, and flag number 2 and flag number 5 will be deleted from our consideration for our September meeting. Okay. Chief?
Is it possible we could have a discussion to come in, are we gonna wait until a flag is produced? Or can we have Dominique help us take a look at it on screen? We can understand, because basically, to me, if you get two options, you get a more
Yeah.
clear polling of it.
Holly is working with Dominique right now. Or is she clear on? Yeah, okay, she's working on it.
Okay. Our agenda has discussion, so let's get back to discussing. We've got 3 flags that we need to talk about, and are there any aspects of them that we need to discuss? I have one question, Katie, for you, and I asked you at the last meeting, these percentages of votes, and you told me that we had a mechanism for ascertaining whether or not people could vote twice.
Right. People can vote twice. They can vote many times, but and when you see the numbers on the screen, that includes people who have voted multiple times. But the numbers that we present to the commission by email and here at the meeting have been filtered, so the duplicate votes are taken out.
So you can provide these to us every day?
We can, sure.
Good. Would you email those to me every
Sure.
day? I would appreciate it.
And Katie, I want to make sure I understand. So it's from a specific IP address, I assume?
That's right.
Is how they're filtered. So someone could vote from their cell phone,
Yes.
their desktop, and
Yes.
their whatever, work computer. I mean, so there is the opportunity, but it doesn't allow for someone to just spend their day voting for the same flag repeatedly.
They can do it, but it won't. It won't be what we present to you.
It's going to be important and significant to me what the people of Mississippi think. And I want to make sure that when it comes to decision time, I don't want to see any fudging.
Right, right.
Do we know the current registered count of registered voters in the state of Mississippi?
I don't.
Well, I'm just curious, and I'm going to ask the commission, what is everybody's opinion? Do you like the magnolia on the white field or the magnolia on the blue field? I know we're doing some changes on the bars and taking out some colors maybe, but what do y'all think?
I was leaning towards the blue.
Leaning towards?
I was leaning toward it until I saw them fly today. And I just thought the white one just looked fabulous. But Clay has kind of dampened my enthusiasm.
Well, did Clay say anything ugly about the white flag?
No, he didn't say anything ugly. He's just taken off the yellow, and I thought that was a real pop
I'm not
today.
telling you to do that.
I know.
I'm suggesting that
Is
it's
it,
not.
so what?
But I'm a principled person, Clay.
Yeah, what do you
Tell
think,
us
Clay?
again your reasoning. I mean, visually, to me, the yellow adds, and that was one of the things I really liked about it. I like Betsy was leaning towards the blue until I saw the white flying, but one of the things that I liked about it is how the gold popped, and so tell us again.
But
You
I
kept
will
calling
say,
it Spanish gold, didn't you?
This yellow you have now is Spanish gold. If you look at a Spanish flag, somebody can Google a Spanish flag, you'll see the same color.
I'm okay.
There's a heraldic principle, which basically the rule is anytime you use white is considered a metal along with yellow. Technically, in heraldic language, it's silver and it's gold, and you're never supposed to put them together. However, it's not a rule in stone, but the main reason is, in a situation like this, when the flags went up earlier, I could barely see the yellow bars. On the white flag, they pop out great on the blue, red, and blue flag. I could barely see them. I don't know about y'all. I could barely see the star, and I could barely see the bars. So if you're going to do that on this flag, I would go back to the old gold. If you think it's important that we have those bars there, I would rechange the color again to the darker color, traditional gold, especially for the star. And then I would widen the bars. If you think they need to remain Spanish yellow, I would certainly widen them, and then you'll be more likely to see them. They almost disappeared. And I'm an old man, and I don't have the best eyes anymore, but they almost disappeared for me when the flag went up earlier outside. And I was hard-pressed to find the star.
And I guess,
looking.
Betsy, on your point, the difference is, and I'm with you on that, I just think that the blue really pops with the magnolia, and it just really stands out, and then you've got the gold. And what he said, I like the idea of those gold lines being a little bit wider. I just think it's very rich looking, and I don't know if it matters, it may be silly, but do flags, they weather obviously in the rain and the wind and stuff. White would be dirtier than another color.
It would depend on where you are. We don't get a lot of the polluted air here that other places do, but yeah, I mean they can get dirtier. Printed flags are always going to fade more quickly than vat dyed bunting that you can sew together. However, if any one of these flags was made in abundance, the technology exists to come up with a higher quality ink that won't fade as fast. These are digitally printed. If you flew any of these any amount of time, they would fade in a hurry because they're digitally printed. But the acid dyed ones that were roll printed, their colors would hold up somewhat better. Now, sometimes it's a roll of the dice. Sometimes you get a good batch that hold up real well. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes, and I can show you all this another time, sometimes they'll come out rotten. I do know the state, before the last flag was retired, had a batch come in, and they literally had to just throw them away because they had the consistency of toilet paper. They were just completely rotten. The acid dyed process, if not done correctly, can produce a flag that doesn't last any amount of time.
I did love seeing them, all of them fly, and really the bars to me really stand out. When we didn't have the breeze and they were just hanging, and they wrap, maybe around the pole on the ones that have more or less the solid blue field, the background, it just looked like a blue flag, and that was it. But with 3 and 4, you could at least see multiple colors.
Chief, I did find out for you, there's about 1.9 million registered voters in the state. I sent a text to the Secretary of State's office.
I was just curious how it's related to the poll votes we got.
Clay, do you have a preference between 3 and 4? Just your opinion.
Y'all gonna make me do that?
Yeah.
I'm a traditionalist. I kind of like the white a little better just because of that reason. But the blue is certainly not an unattractive flag.
Thank you, Clay. Clay likes the white, Betsy.
Mac's been a proponent of white.
I've always liked the white.
You have. I still want to see the larger bars on it before we rule out the blue and the red. It's such a classy looking flag. I would hate to rule it out at this point.
Do we have those yet? We have them.
I like the blue too.
It's going to look different, somewhat, right?
It'll certainly look different on paper. I think you'll appreciate, particularly, I don't know what you guys will end up saying our official proportions are, but they've traditionally been 2 to 3, and the shorter you make a flag, the more significant bars become, and that's really been the thing that's concerned me. This at 2 to 3, those bars are really skinny out there, and your flying doesn't last hardly any time before you feel like you've got to go buy you a new flag. And so, and then we call it a Canadian pale, and so it's the middle is twice as wide as either side, and the broader you make it, the wider they are. 3 by 5 foot flag would be fine, but 2 to 3. So y'all take a look at that and see what you think. If you think that the bars stand out better in that circumstance.
I'm going to add another caveat of everything that we're observing. We're looking at colors right now, but in God we trust. Which one is the most legible?
The white. I
Could we make the text bolder in the blue?
Actually, I think the white should be bold.
You know, I mean, make that font bolder?
I think on both of them, you need to be able to see it. It needs to be more like the white star. But I don't know.
I'm going to start referring to the diamond star as the first star.
Should we make the In God We Trust bolder?
I really think because it's such a, I just don't think our blue flag got enough wind today.
Those are changes I'm suggesting in terms of width of the bar, yeah, and then in my opinion, the star shows it better, the old gold star shows it better than the Spanish yellow on the white flag.
If we're torn, I don't think there's any reason to eliminate another one if we don't have to. I mean, this is, people are gonna have a preference in the white and the blue. I think it's only 3 now instead of 5, and we get a better feel for what we're looking at.
I
Can
agree.
Dominique add a stroke? Ask her if she can add a stroke to that text.
Is that the thickness of it, Robin?
Hey, Dominique? While you're doing what you're doing, take the gold bars off the white flag just for fun, or either that or turn the gold bar on the blue bar blue and the red one red. That'd save you a minute or two of time, so we can see what it looked like just a plain old blue and a plain old red bar.
But if you do that, could you make the stamen more yellow, more gold? So that it looks like the one in the blue and not black?
Yeah, I suppose there's any number of things you could do with the magnolia. In my head, the leaves could be green.
What are y'all thinking? I'm talking about in the
White one.
white, if you're eliminating the gold on the bars, and you've got the gold for the first star, then what
I just
about-
think the gold adds a richness and a depth to the flag that I think it just really makes it handsome to have those gold stripes. It may not be, what's the rule, Clay, that I'm breaking?
That's a heraldic rule, but it's
The
not
heraldic rule I've just broken.
Well, now let me. I don't know if y'all remember this argument back when the current flag existed. Should the canton should have had the white borders divided between the stripes or no? Well, the original design, no. And you may remember Mississippi flags where the red bar and the bottom of the canton just merged with it. The fimbriation was designed to separate that situation. All right. You usually put a fimbriation between yellow or yellow gold and white, but only by rule. It's not an absolute thing. It's not law. It's etiquette. It's sort of what you do. It's almost like, when you wear a certain tie with a certain shirt. You can wear what you want, but, if you want to look like you know how to dress yourself, you know what I'm saying? And so it's that kind of idea. It's that kind of idea. But it doesn't mean, in this case, if you're dark enough, I think you're fine.
I think we're waiting on Dominique to make the changes that y'all just requested. Is that right, Holly? Okay.
But we still can keep all 3 if we choose to do that.
Do whatever you want.
Okay.
Let me throw another little thing in, just so you know, if you haven't had a chance to look at charts. Now, if you do eliminate the gold bars on the white one, we look a lot like Iowa. The Iowa flag's blue, white, red, just like they have an eagle in the middle and a scroll and a bar. I think you're different enough with your emblem that you can do that, but Iowa's flag does have that same basic pattern background.
Clay, you also mentioned broadening the lines of the magnolia in the white center. Did Dominic broaden the lines of the magnolia flower?
Yeah, we were just talking. If you look at this flag up here, the two I've lost my word. The 2 buds go on either side of the 2 parts of the flower. You can barely see those even from here, if you're back in the back of the room trying to stare and look at that, those almost disappear. And so you want a little bit more of a, I think, a background, an outline around those in order to make sure that they, the magnolia pops as well. The petals, I could not come up with the word petal to save my neck. The two horizontal petals on the flower.
I do like the bolder stripes for sure. I mean, it really makes the magnolia pop on both color versions, I think.
And again, if ultimately the blue, red, and blue version of this flag made it, you're good with Spanish yellow. In fact, it'd probably be the way to go on that particular flag. If you're going to move it over the white, though, you've got to darken that gold just a little bit if you keep the fimbriations. And anyway, on the star, in my view.
What blue is that?
I imagine it's intended to be Old Glory blue. This would be American flag blue.
Is that it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
these two.
it.
This is a little bit lighter. That's a little bit lighter version, but the rest of these flags, I assume the intent was.
Yes.
We're very familiar and proud of our colors in this state, our American colors, and it stands to reason to me that the flags that are going to resonate the most. And I'm out of my league now. I'm supposed to be the flag design guy, but I would think, just speaking to people that speak to me, that they really want to see our national colors incorporated into the flag. I hear that again and again, and I would, as a Mississippian, I would tend to agree. Yeah, I like my national colors incorporated in my flag somehow.
While we are waiting, thank you, Senator Hillman, Frazier, for being here. Lieutenant Governor David Holzman joined us at the old Capitol earlier today, and it's good to see him present and recovered.
Yes, I'll go ahead and talk about next steps. Our next meeting will be next Tuesday at 10:30. Wednesday, I'm sorry. September 2nd is a Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday?
Yep, it is a Wednesday. Well, it can be Tuesday.
And Katie, these 3 flags, well, this one's as it is, but the other 2 will have a made flag to look at?
Yes. Yes, when y'all resolve your discussions about changes, we'll have them made.
Okay.
Do you want to fly them? Do you want to do what we did today, or do you just want to see them in here?
We can fly them outside here, can we not?
We don't have a flagpole outside here.
I think we can see them in here.
Okay. That's what we'll do. Okay, here they are.
Sorry, I like to go, Clay.
The gold pops, yeah.
But I would encourage us to keep all 3 at this point.
What you think?
I think on the one where she eliminated the gold bars, we don't have your quartering yet. Those bars on the non-gold one would be broader than what they are, just a bit broader, I think.
So
I like the bars.
has Dominique made all of the changes that y'all talked about on the 2 that with the gold?
Has she darkened
The font. She's going to thicken up the font, I think.
She did.
She did that.
Did she?
Yeah.
I don't-
How about around the petals?
She did that too.
Okay.
That was a great suggestion, on the gold.
Okay, so let me make sure I'm clear. The 2 flags with the gold stripes are going to go back to the flag manufacturer. We'll make those with those changes, and that one has no changes. And we will have those 3 flags, we'll get the big ones, and we'll hang them, right, Holly? Hang them here for next Wednesday.
I have another question regarding the stamen, the difference. I don't know, Robin, did you make one of those
We changed
suggestions?
we changed the one on the blue so that it would pop more against the blue. But that same statement could be applied to the magnolia on the white background as well, if you
What do
want to
y'all
see it that
think?
way.
I mean, I'm just seeing black.
Is that something you want to see right now? Or?
Could we see that right now, Dominique?
So on the white flag,
Stamen.
make the
Put the same
stamen the same color as on the blue flag. No, just leave it. Yeah. We're waiting on one Dominic to make one more change.
Wrap it up after.
Yeah.
He's talking about as the colors go to gold and all. Our tribal flag has all their colors.
That's a good thing.
Katie, I think, if we're gonna, it'd be nice to get to head-to-head with 2 flags. If we're gonna let the people vote on it and speak about it, I would go ahead and make a motion and to eliminate the white one. The blue one got more votes already, and then it allows us to go head-to-head with 2 flags and let, then the people really have a choice.
I would agree with that, Frank. I think we'll have a week where people can decide if I like a shield flag or if I like a magnolia flag, and it would just be, head to head, and we'll see which one.
I'm good as long as it's the blue one.
Well, I made the motion to
But-
eliminate the white one.
I second that.
But that's the only flag that has any white in it. The others are blue. So really, it's the one option.
There's only 2 of them. We should vote.
I think we have them.
I'm thinking about what I'm going to say.
You don't usually do that first.
Are we in a big rush to
even
make
get
that
it.
decision right now? Okay, that's the question.
They
And I
may be
appreciate
the
what you're
same-
saying, Frank, but we could wait. We have our next meeting next Tuesday, and we got to get it down to,
No,
We have to
today.
get it down to
Next Tuesday it's
1
done.
by next
yes, next
Wednesday.
Tuesday's done, we're going to come to 1. That's right. So in other words, we can either have 2 between now and then or 3 between now and then, right?
Right.
So we give the people opportunity to, what do they like the best, the white magnolia or the blue magnolia, okay?
They've consistently voted for the.
Well, I know
blue
what Frank's
magnolia.
saying, right? He wants to eliminate it, let them make that decision between now and the shield flag. I'm just saying, well, I think we need to keep it open. That's my opinion. Y'all might have a different. I like the white, I like the blue. I hadn't made up my mind yet. Can y'all give me another week? Maybe not. Let's-
Amen.
Got a motion on the table and a second. You gotta
I
do
knew
it.
that Sherry likes the blue flag, okay, I can say that.
And Mary.
Frank, I did not hear your motion.
My motion was to eliminate the white magnolia flag.
TJ
Did you get a
second.
second? TJ seconds. Any further discussion?
This could be a head-to-head.
Ready to vote?
With
If
the,
you,
one comment is, if all three went to a poll, I'll speak loud enough. If all three went to a poll, we don't need to.
You have to speak for the people watching on Facebook.
My only thing is, if we come in here, if we left all three, and we come in here next Wednesday, you're gonna say, well, flag number 3 and number 4, if you combine the percentage, they got more than number 1. And, you know, that's one stipulation I don't want to see us arguing over, you know. It's, okay, if it's 3 that's polled, they stand alone. You know, that would be my.
It's going to be an easier decision if we eliminate one right now.
Well, and I think I'm having a hard time between the white and the blue as well. I was dead set on the blue until I saw them fly, and it made me second guess myself. But I do agree that, it is apples to apples when you have two choices. And, we see what the public wants.
I agree. I don't think the blue flag got enough air today. So, it didn't get full justice on the poll.
we've heard Frank's motion and the discussion. You ready to vote? If you are, all those in favor of the motion indicate aye.
Aye.
Opposition? The motion carries. Thank you. That takes care of our business for today, am I not right, Katie?
That's right. Next meeting, September 2nd at 10:30 in this, Wednesday, September 2nd at 10:30 in this room.
Again, thank you so much for being here, for making tough decisions, and the people of Mississippi will be proud of you.
Thank you to Katie and Emma and Holly and Clay and all the folks that showed up today to put the flags on the pole for us, who made accommodations to have them manufactured, to have separate ones in here already on display. I know that doesn't just happen, so thank you all for your hard work.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We are adjourned. Thank you.